Next, got my head, got my body. I want to get my robotic neck. I'm going to click my line tool, and I'm just going to go bingo bango, draw a line. Same thing as before. I'm going to put my stroke up quite a bit here, give him an actual neck. Now, this is basically just a line. I cannot change the fill color of this if I want to. I can change a line to a shape by going Object, Expand. Let's go say, what do you want to expand? I want to fill the stroke. And bingo bango, I can now change that color. Let's make it a dark gray. Alright, and you notice that there's a line through this right here. That means that there's no stroke width on it. We'll kind of leave that. Okay, so there's no outline around it. It's just a dark gray. Now, right now it's in front of everything. I can send it to the back by right-clicking, Arrange, Send to back, and you will learn these shortcuts as we go. Do Send to back. It puts behind these two shapes. The whole thing, if I click on it, the whole thing's still there. It's just behind it. Remember when we were talking about how Illustrator is a lot like using construction paper and scissors, and you're just layering things on top of each other? Well, there's a good example of that. Now, you see this box that drew around the whole thing? That's called a bounding box, and that also is one of those things that just annoys me. And so I am going to get rid of that by doing View, Hide Bounding Box, and then it just, okay. Again, personal preference, and if you ever want to turn it back on, View, Show Bounding Box, and I'll turn it back on. So I've got my neck drawn, and let me zoom out just a little bit here. Z for zoom, Option to make it minus, I want to make it just a little bit smaller, H for hand to drag it around. I just want to be able to see a little bit better here. All of this, I'm drawing all this a little bit big, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my selection tool, draw a marquee, or draw a box around the whole thing, and it selects everything. Okay, and then I'm going to do Object, Transform, Scale, and reduce the scale to like 80%. And make the whole thing a little bit smaller. Okay, I can always do that if I wanted to make the body a little bit bigger. I could do Object, right click, Transform, Scale, and I can make it bigger. Alright, I'm going to leave it like that. Now I'm going to come and zoom back in now that I've made this whole thing a little bit smaller. Hand tool to drag my paper around. H for hand, V for selection. I'm going to get my ellipse tool and I'm going to draw, no, I'm going to draw an eyeball up here. And I don't really want it filled with gray. Let's do white. Now, there's a couple different things I can do. I can draw another oval and make a different eye of a different shape. I can copy and paste this as well. Or I believe if I get my selection tool and I hold down Alt, yep, see how I get when I'm over it, it turns that little double arrow, Alt not pushed, Alt pushed, Alt not pushed, Alt pushed. If I hold down Alt and drag this over, it automatically copies it for me. Pretty cool. That was holding down, let's delete that. Having an object selected, hold down the Alt or Option key, hold it, drag, and boom. Okay, now you notice as I dragged this and I copied it, it kind of disaligned these two. If I hold down the Shift key, I can click more than one thing. And I can say, hey, I want this aligned, vertical align center, and bang, it aligns them right up together. So let's draw a perfect circle. How am I going to draw a perfect circle? Let's zoom in here. I'm going to draw a perfect circle. To draw a perfect circle, as you're drawing a circle, hold down the Shift key, and it will draw a perfect circle. I'm going to reverse this, get rid of my stroke weight. No, go away. Okay, so it drew me a perfect circle. Alt, copy. Boom, 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 boom. Hold down the Shift to select the other one. Vertical alignment. Bang, they're lined up. They may not be both. Let's let that one over just a little bit. Alright. Now this is filled with white. This is filled with white. I'm checking it over here on the sides. So what I want to do next is, underneath my line tool is my arc tool. And I want to draw an arc. And I want this arc to go the other way, so I'm going to use my up and down arrow keys to get my arc to go the other way. And I'm going to draw another one. And then I'm going to click my V to get my selection tool, Shift to select both of those. Oops. Right click, send back. Okay, so I send both those to the back. Z for zoom, option for minus, zoom out just slightly, use my arc tool again. Notice arc tool doesn't have a shortcut. You have to come over here and select arc tool. And I'm going to draw my little bit of a mouth. Reduce the curve a little bit. Alright, now notice that my mouth has sharp edges, and I want to give that mouth, let's zoom in here. Sharp edges, and I want to make it more of a rounded edge on the mouth, so I'm going to up here and do, instead of basic, I'm going to do 15-point round. Oh, no, too big. 5-point round. And then notice that that rounded off the corners. And I'm going to do object, expand appearance this time, not expand. Expand appearance. And that makes that a shape that I can then fill a different color if I wanted to. Let's say I want to give him a red mouth with a black stroke. I could do that. But I'm going to change it back to black. Okay, so that allows me to change the color if I so choose. Z for zoom, option for minus, zoom out so I can see the whole thing. Keep zooming out, there we go. H for hand, move the paper around. V for selection. So I've got two eyes, I've got my head, I've got my mouth, I've got my body. I think that's good for this video. We'll get ready to move on.